Hello ladies and gentlemen, MarauderEX here back with more Let's Play Skies of Arcadia. And I am doing all of this post-commentary for the last 2 episodes. I did all of it recording all at once because, hey, this is a lot. I wanted to make sure I got it well, and I wanted to make sure the episodes lined up pretty well. So, showing off the equipment, I'm changing back from the white map because it's not needed. I'm going to make sure everyone has some of the best stuff possible. The final fights, we are fighting a Sylvite, so Eternity spells are going to be a thing. The silver armor, which will protect against them, also a help. So depending on what you've got, go ahead and, you know, pretty much double up as much as possible on not dying. I've got Aka and Fina with anti-instant death. Fina still has final cupel, and everyone's... Enrique, I did not get the best weapon for Enrique, and I didn't get a chance to show off the best weapon for the last 3 people. I did manage to pick up a gun and an arm on my way here. I did not, however, get a sword. I will be showing off all of the special attacks and spells. I did get that, but I figured the last weapon, especially since there's a good number of people who didn't even know it existed, not as big of a deal. Especially since we are at the end of the game. This is it. There's nothing else. We have a cutscene here that I will let you guys enjoy. Oh, this one doesn't have... I keep forgetting it doesn't have complete voice acting, so... yeah. So we've made it inside. There's Zelos in his sphere form. Ramirez, he's lost it. Why did we kill him? Well, because he was trying to kill us, and we technically didn't kill him. That was Beliza. So someone he betrayed killed him. So you really have no one to blame but him. We would have been content with just stopping him, but because he turned on his own subordinate, he died. Lord Galcian was the only man fit to rule this pathetic world. I wish they'd explained a little more about how Ramirez came to idolize Galcian so much. There's very little talk about that throughout the game.
Die!
And his creepy voice acting. The whole world shall pay, the rains will wash away all of you, I swear it. It was what Lord Galcian would have wanted. I don't know. Alright, so, we get to face off against Ramirez, and this time we actually stand a chance, not like when he came to Crescent Isle the first time. We have a 4-on-1 fight, but don't let the numbers give you a false sense of security. I right now have blue weapons. I believe I changed them to yellow, so that yellow has a greater impact of damage on silver-affiliated enemies. Alright, so again, he has instant death abilities. He has ridiculously high damage abilities. So, if you don't want to put anti-death accessories on, you can do what I'm doing and use Delta Shield and Justice Shield to protect against magic and have physical damage. So I don't believe he has a special attack that causes instant death. I think it's just the spell, because he does have the Eternity line, so... And Drill Nose, not gonna affect me at all, because guess what? Sucks to be you, really. And I do play this fight very cautiously, mostly because we're at the end of the game. I don't want to screw up now. I've run into a couple of fights where like, oh, that caught me off guard, like the Valuans at the Seal of Maw of Tardis. There's grenades everywhere to your face. Not what I really wanted to deal with. So, I find it highly comical that Cupel is doing the most damage by trying to eat him, and then spit it back out. This is one of Ramirez's abilities, Silver Tundra. It is a single target ability.
And your sins through death. Sword of the Eclipse.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. And you would think that this would be ice-based, but it's actually a silver technique. Because, I mean, we see ice everywhere. And the multi-hits sound effects. But yeah, Vice gets impaled, and that was with just a shield up, so half damage. So over 3,000 points of damage is what you'd be looking at with that. And really, best bet, just stay defensive, keep on healing, stay on top of your HP, and then whenever you get a chance, just smack him with something big. Pirate's Wrath, always a good one. It'll be very difficult for you to do Prophecy or Blue Rogues because of the sheer amount of spirit needed at this point to use them. But an Incremed Pirate's Wrath, really not a bad idea. I don't believe I use Increm in this fight. I really should have just started the fight with a set of glyphs on everyone, get speed up to make sure that I can get the turns in before him, and then keep my attack up. But I went with it. I don't know why I didn't just burn through all of the items, because these are the final fights. The boss section here, once you enter this room, you have 3 total boss fights before you get to the end of the game. So when you end this fight, you want to be careful because you will come back to another on-foot battle. So if someone is near death, be very careful about ending the fight with them that close to death, or just be very aware that your next foot battle, that person is still going to be near death.
Moons, give me your blessing.
And just like Fina, Ramirez has a lunar attack that helps him rather than hurts us. Lunar Blessing is the same as ours, basically, where he gets the regen effect. So we do not want him to have that effect, considering it recovers 600 HP a tick. That's a normal attack for one of us, so we would basically be negating his with any of Vice's attacks, and then relying on Cupel for damage until we could do another Pirate's Wrath. So you want to make sure that that's not there. We have the same Lunar Blessing. Don't let him do that. Just Lunar Winds. Blow away his status effect. Because the longer that's up, the bigger pain it's going to be. So. And I opt for a couple of attacks. Not entirely sure why. I probably should have stuck with, you know, magic defense with Aka, just on the off chance he used an attorney spell. But if he had used it, I would have had, you know, 2 people.
Light.
We see Silver Eclipse again, and it affects everyone.
Dark moon.
So thankfully we had Justice Shield up for this one. Because, yeah. And this is one of those attacks that if you are wearing silver armor, it will also help. I've read in a couple of guides that the silver armor plus Justice Shield do stack for that attack. So you get the silver protection plus the physical protection if you were guarding. So Vice is pretty much the one who's been beaten up on it, because he's taken 2 special attacks to the face now. Everyone else doing alright. So we're just gonna keep laying into him. He's already in the orange-yellow section of his life, so we are making headway. As long as we don't let him heal with that regen effect, he should be fine.
Here goes.
In the meantime, just gonna focusing on healing, that sort of thing. You know, that pretty much gets everyone back up to full. Critical hit with Cupel, which does a ridiculous. I'm still in awe of Final Cupel, and he's gonna go back with another Lunar Blessing. So that kind of delays me being able to use Pirate's Wrath again, but I'm kind of okay with it because I'd rather, you know, get rid of his status effect. Plus, Lunar Winds does do a little bit of damage to him in addition to getting rid of the effect, so I don't feel completely cheated by having to get rid of his status effect. I believe the third fight, there is a way for us to lose our buffs in a similar fashion, so be very careful about that. If you go in using a lot of spells rather than items, you're going to be spending a lot of spirit points to use them and then reuse them when they get taken down. So I made sure I was well stocked on the glyphs for that reason. I wish there was an item version of Drillnose.
Light.
That would have been fantastic.
Darkness.
Like, I could lower his attack
Sword
with
of
an
the
item
Dark Moon.
rather than having to use the spell and use the SP for it. So things are looking a little grim. He's doing a lot of AoEs, but this fight really is not that difficult. The next two fights are actually considerably more difficult. This one, you play it cautiously, you're fine regardless. As long as you don't go into it massively underleveled or just play it stupid and, you know, go balls to the wall attack. You really don't want to do that against this guy. Because just imagine the damage he'd be cranking out if we didn't have defense. So I keep wanting to talk about the other two fights, but we're not there yet. I keep getting like, I want to talk about them. That is the downside of doing something post-commentary, but I knew how long this was going to be. I knew it was going to be very long, and I didn't want to end up cutting an episode in an awkward place, so I opted for this. And I've done this for a while on a lot of my finales for projects, just to make sure I can get the best ending possible without, you know, sounding derp as I'm trying to talk over something that I didn't remember happening. But we have this fight, and then the next fight is going to be an airship fight, so they do make sure to throw that in for you, that you get an airship fight, which I thought was really good because it showcased that they actually take that mechanic seriously. And we are almost done with Ramirez. He does get another Silver Tundra off. This one, I believe, focuses on Enrique. So Enrique is going to take a little bit of damage.
Through death. Sword of the Eclipse.
Which is what I was going to say when going back into the on-foot fight. Remember that if anyone takes any damage, it's going to carry over. Their HP is going to be the same. Because I don't believe I had Justice Shield up. I may have had Justice Shield up. But either way, Enrique does take a fair bit of damage because he is lower level than everyone else. That is another downside. Power leveling your three main people, Vice, Ake, and Fina, they're going to be higher level than any of your optional party members. All of my party members are about the same level, which is not as high. Alright, so again, I just opt to go all out because he is about one hit away from dying, depending on who hits him. And it's going to be Fina. Fina gets the hit in. He counterattacks. I thought Fina was the one who killed him. Is it Aka? Yeah, it's Aka. So, Ramirez is down.
I'm glad everyone is okay.
I'm glad everyone is okay. That seems a little out of place, but we'll just take it. We do get 7,800 XP from the fight, so we still get the level ups for that, which is good, I guess. But kind of weird that it's still a thing. So now we've defeated Ramirez. You'd think that would be the end of it, but he still has a trump card up his sleeve. Like, yeah, we don't really want to fight you. Like, we beat you. You beat us the first time. We're even. Can't we just let it go? He will kill everyone and everything, not be defeated. He takes off his Mickey Mouse glove to expose his silver crystal. Zelos' power does not stop with the moons. Zelos is almighty. And only Sylvites can control it. To control Zelos, I shall forfeit my life. The Ramirez you knew is already dead. Yeah, we kind of knew that. I sacrificed my life. Alright, so he gives his silver crystal, which is going to kill him, to fully awaken Zelos, which I thought Zelos was fully awakened because he could control the reins, but apparently not. This is not Zelos' true form. If he merges with a Sylvite, he gets his full Gigas form. Which causes this to happen, where he will just start expanding at an exponential rate, which means we kind of have to get out of Soltis, because he's gonna destroy this place. We should go. I like how they have the door bulging like it's going to bust open. And we run, and we make it to the Delphinius just in time for Zelos to blow up the center tower of Soltis to reveal his true Gigas form. The all-powerful Silver Gigas. How do you expect us to beat this? Zelos has not finished taking shape. Once it does, it'll be invincible, but if we attack it while it's still forming, we can defeat it. This is our only chance. Everyone, attack. So, we are now fighting Zelos, which you can see on the front has the crest that has each light corresponding to a different moon, coming from the crystal that's helping power it. Also, one thing that I don't believe we've ever discussed, Zelos is the only Gigas that his name does not start with the corresponding color. Yellowgar with yellow, Blueheim with blue, etc. Alright, so, Zelos is just a pain. He has several attacks that are just going to hurt you, regardless of what path you take in terms of how you aim to attack him. He's going to hurt. All of his red squares are going to do a ridiculous amount of damage. Yellow squares are going to do moderate damage, but you're gonna want to be just careful. And Wevel Cannon really is not a good idea here. I don't know why I use it, because being silver-based, he has massive resistances. Oh, I don't use it. But he does have massive resistances to magic. So, if you want to throw your magic cannon at him, feel free. It's not really gonna do you any good. You could try to throw Drill Nose or something to lower his attack, but he's going to start, at least in this case, he starts off the fight using Silence. So that throws a major wrench in the gears, because if you have been reliant on casting healing magic to heal the Delphinius, we can't do that for a while. And his silence lasts a long time, because we don't have any sort of accessory that will protect the ship from silence. Nor do we have any sort of spell that we can cast while silenced, or item that we can use to remove the status effect. We can't use Cura crystals on the ship. So we do have that problem. He will also, on green turns, at least for the first bit here, throw spell cannons at us until he gets to his signature attacks, typically on the yellow and red squares. Here's one of them now, Moonray. I believe this is his red square attack for the time being. 6,000 points of damage while we were defending. That's not good. Looks like all of Zelos' attacks are coming out of the symbol in the middle. It's like, if you attack from the side, you get no chance. If you attack from the front, all of your attacks are chance attacks, but also remember that that can play against you, so be careful. It is one of those, we're going to play recklessly now. So, I'm going to throw what I've got at him while I can, and then heal immensely. So, and as you can see, I do have... I try to make sure Aka is going to be my primary healer, or primary defender, because her quick is higher than anyone else's, so I'm hoping that it will be faster than Zelos's, so that we can, you know, guard effectively. And unfortunately, I do not really have any crew members that I can use at the moment with the spirit that I've got. So we are going to go and use items. I do have a ton of items. We've got deluxe kits, I've got 6 of those, and then I've got complete kits, I've got 30 some odd of those, I believe. We also have Apo Wax and Speed Wax that are the equivalent of the strength and speed glyphs or spells. So we've got a fair bit of items, and I would highly recommend making sure you have a ton of healing items for this fight, simply because if he decides to spam cast silence on you, you have no means of healing without them. So just be very, very cautious of that. Keep that in mind. In the meantime, like a giant eye, he is going to sit there and fixate the symbol on us as we circle around in circles here for whatever reason. I forget, he has, I want to say Zelos has like 250,000 plus HP, so he has more HP than the Hydra, which, not surprising, given that it's the final fight. They want to make sure you are as up to date in threat level as humanly possible. And throwing out another Moonray. This is not his most powerful attack. That will show up here in a bit. And he can spam it, and I think he gets 2 off in a row on me that gets me very, very panicked. So be very cautious about him spamming. It seems like he's losing a little bit of power because of the damage that we're doing to it. We do get a couple of free turns. If we attack from the front, we will get all Moonstone Cannon prompts, but again, you can only use it once. I'm really disappointed with that. I think if you have the spirit to use it more than once, they should just let you use it more than once. That would make everything fantastic. Make this fight go a whole lot shorter, for one. So, Hybrid Wax, I don't actually use it, but it improves all of our base stats, our hit, our dodge, our quick, etc. I really should have used it in this one, but yeah, I didn't. I didn't. Alright, we are no longer silenced, so you can use magic now. Just keep an eye on your status gauge when going into the turn prompts like that. I'm going to stick with items just in case that he decides to, oh, I'm going to cast silence. And then be out that effect, because I tried to cast it, and then you silenced me. And Apo Wax. I'm not entirely sure if Apo Wax, there's going to be a scene here where he does manage to get Drillnos on us, and then I try using Apo Wax, and it says that I missed using the item. So I don't know if Apo Wax is strong enough to actually counter Drillnos. Some games you can overwrite a negative status effect with a positive one, if the positive one gives you a better increase, or they can just cancel each other out. I don't believe that's the case in this game. If you have a negative status effect and you try to overwrite that specific status effect with a positive of its version, I think it just causes the miss. So, another thing to look out for. I haven't done the testing on it, mostly because I just didn't want to do the Zelos fight again. But we do 48,000 points of damage between our torpedo and our Moonstone Cannon, and those were incremented because we did use the wax. So that was a pretty nice chunk of damage. However, this is not even Zelos' final form. Much like Frieza, when we think we have the upper hand, he decides that he is going to change forms to something considerably more creepy. Just like Frieza. Because let's face it, Frieza just got creepier and creepier as he went on. And we learn from Fina that the Silver Gigas is much like Cupil and its ability to just change shape. Here we have the option of play it safe and keep our distance, continue attacking. If you play it safe and keep distance, it'll give you the one red and then all yellow, but that gives you a chance to recover a little bit more, so you can back off, heal. You'll get that option several times, which is what I'm going to do. I just sit back and I'm going to take my time to make sure I am doing as much as possible to stay alive. One problem, I did not know about this, if you do take that option, your primary cannon's really not going to affect him because we are running away from him, so we can't target him. So it'll say main cannon lost. And this is one of his next abilities, Great Moon Ray. He uses this one quite often, and, you know, I'd say pound for pound, this one's really one of his more damaging ones. His actual threat attack that everyone discusses does a little bit more damage, and again, it can be spammed, but I was not as threatened by it as I was Great Moon Ray, because I saw Great Moon Ray way more often. Throwing a Wevlum at us, I remember when that would pretty much cripple us to no extent, doing it again. Now we can survive a couple of hits on it, which is fantastic. I believe because we were out of range of his main attacks, he's sticking to magic attacks, which again, not bad. We're still going to take damage from it, but it lets us build up and come back in for an attack. So we basically, I'm using this as an opportunity to rear my fist back as far as possible, and then just throw it at him with as much force as I could muster. I should have taken a chance to heal in that, considering I'm at 29,000 points of damage right now, or 29,000 HP, and yeah, that's a little low for where I want to be. So, oh, I only have 10 complete hits. I thought I had more. I guess it's the crystals that I had more of. Alright, so again, we are in a very bad position here. I do throw up the healing item first, and then I go to heal, or go to defend for the next red square. Again, throwing out Great Moon Ray. We are not defending this turn, so you can see what its damage is, and why I was a little more concerned by it. Almost, well, okay, so it was about the same, so I guess that one we don't really get much of a defense on. But we regain our 35,000 HP, and it starts shooting spells at us again. And you can always tell what spell he's going to use by the color that appears in his center crest. So, launch a Moon Torpedo. We still have the effect of the ApoX. So, if you're feeling a little froggy, you can throw out some attacks while waiting. I just wanted to make sure I had enough for the torpedo and for the Moonstone Cannon. And he sees my giant laser and raises me a bigger one. His giant laser is kind of cooler than mine. A little disappointed by that, but my giant laser does a lot more damage. So let's just stick to that, shall we? And it seems that he's sticking mostly to offensive spells. I'm not entirely sure if I'm happy about that or not throughout the battle. Like, I try to go for status effects that won't mess me up too much. Like, try to put me to sleep. Can you do that? Another 47,000 points of damage. We've got him below the halfway mark. And again, we get another prompt for Moonstone Cannon. So, let's just have at it we've got Moonstone Cannon and another torpedo. And I'm just gonna go all out and say, screw you, hippie. And throw what I can at him. I should have just stuck with the 2, because it'll eat into the spirit that I regain, but this is the ability that everyone fears. Judgment. Basically, it is Rains of Destruction in ship battle form. He shoots up at the Silver Moon, and we get hit with a meteor. But Sephiroth, this guy is not. So, 11,000 points of damage. We were not guarding. So, this is also the one that people are scared that if he spams, which he can spam, is what will actually defeat you. Again, I was more worried about Moonray, because even though Moonray did, you know, around half what this one does, he went for it more. And this is where we get the Drillin effect that I was discussing, and I believe I try to use an Apo-Axe to solve it, and you'll see that it'll say miss. Which, if anyone out there who's played this and knows that that's the modus operandum of the game, let me know. I've not gone into the mechanics of how status effects work and how they don't work for this game. Only game that I've really done that for would be Final Fantasy XI, because you can learn things with that sort of status. And now is the point where I get a little, you know, concerned, because 21,000 points of damage. That is a lot more than what I was expecting. So, yeah. And at this point, I was screaming that if I'm going down, I'm going to take you with me. Because we hit with the Moon Torpedo, the 5-inch cannon, and the Moonstone Cannon. We missed with the cannon, though. Unfortunately. So, a little disappointed by that. But now we have a damage gauge. We can tell how the course of the battle is going by how many claws he has left. Much like the giant squid fight. So, we have to be careful, we need to fall back, or we can stay right in his face again. I opted for this one so that I had a turn with a green square so that I could heal. If I had gone in with the red square and not gotten the attack first, that would have been game. I would not have been able to recover from that. As you see, the possibility for next turn, we have either regular attack squares or us trading hit for hit with big attacks. So, yeah. So we have the attack down effect. I try to fix that with that. It's not going to work. I have the grease items, which refill a lot of spirit. The regular one acts as if we get double what our normal focus would be. Like, it restores a set percentage, I guess. And the other one, I believe, is full spirit. I really should have gone for that so that I had more than enough just to start wailing away on him during the next set of rounds. But I don't. I still have enough to actually get one good hit in. But yes, Apo-Axe miss. He is missing one claw. He's got 5 more. The only downside is I really feel like the first claw comes off way too fast, or rather way too late, and then the other ones come off way too fast in comparison. So like I really feel like one should have come off before now, and somehow he gets the claw back for his abilities. He has Moon Lament, which is another ability. He launches the claws at us as they become energy spikes. Kind of a cool attack. About as damaging as all of his other standard attacks. Or at least his unique special attacks, other than Judgment. I don't know if he can do Judgment anymore. I don't remember if he tries to pull that out through the fight, or if he can because he is technically missing one of the claws. But I mean, he got the claw back in that scene, so it's hard to say how they're gonna go with it. I didn't try. So we go with the Apoax, and then I go with guarding. I really should have launched a torpedo at that point. Like, hitting him with the torpedo and the Moonstone Cannon would have put more of a dent. Not that the Moonstone Cannon by itself is anything to, you know, shake a stick at, but... So even though it says that we're going in for an attack, we basically run away and then circle back in. And we do it again. And I love how it's just sitting there, it's watching us. Like, creepy eye that it is. Another Moon Lament. I would be concerned with this attack, but I'm just not. At this point, like, I'm taking this thing down. I don't care what... Once I stayed alive after the 21,000 judgment and was able to remove one of his claws, like, no, screw this. I am not dying to him today. There's a list of things that I'm going to do today. Dying to this creepy thing is not one of them. So we shoot off a Moonstone Cannon, and I believe this is where we see what I was discussing with the claws coming off too quickly. So he's almost dead. We did 55,000 points of damage to him. That is probably the single biggest attack that we've done so far. And he is almost dead. And now that the attack round is over, once it gets to the next set of command inputs, it'll do the cinematics. And I think that's why I feel like it goes too slow. Because you have to wait for the cinematics. It doesn't happen mid-turn. I think if it happened mid-turn, it would give a better pacing to the fight. Because he's pretty much going to lose all but one of those claws at this point. And like, I take one off, and then I take 5 off, or 4 off, all at once. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's got 1 left. Alright, so at this point it's like, close in, we can finish him off. We've got more than enough spirit just to throw a Moonstone at him, and that's it. So that is going to be the end of this episode. I will see you guys in the next installment, now that we've defeated Zelos, and it will be the thrilling conclusion of Skies of Arcadia. See you guys in the next installment. Till then, later everyone.